There's a thing I do called bubble theory. Me and Crunch worked on it for the past 3 years. Can't go into too much about it, but that's kind of the way I see Melee. And Mango is a really good example of why you should look at Melee not as 2 characters, but as 2 characters could be at any point. It's all like probabilities.
What do the people have to Google search to learn more about bubble theory?
They can't.
It's ungoogleable.
It's your theory?
It's top
his
secret,
own
private drive.
I think even if they knew to, it
branded
wouldn't
theory.
be like that crazy if they knew.
But it's an insight into your mind.
I think I hear what you're saying.
There's also a bubble theory and I guess economics, but that's different. It's not like too crazy, it's just hard to explain.
Probably the
Financial
theory about like economic bubbles. The tech bubble.
Back to econ.
But yeah, it sounds like I understand. Kind of what you're talking about is like where they could be and like the probability of.
Yeah, exactly.
And like everything in Melee.
It's like it's gonna sound
stupid,
but you know how you can't determine I think it's a speed and the position of an electron, but you can use those probabilities and make the best option based on that. So it's along those lines.
Do you have a name for your neutral theory, Hugo?
Ooh. No, it's just I don't have it's not bubble theory.
Okay, because that's the name of Hbox's. All right. Bet.
Oh, is that what he's?
Yeah,
calling?
it's like a neutral.
It's
neutral theory. Did nobody actually ever tell you what bubble?
No, they wouldn't tell me. They just kept him and Plug just kept cracking it up. It's like he's not ready for bubble theory.
I thought somebody told you.
So I thought it was a meme about something stupid. I thought at a certain point I thought it had nothing to do with Melee.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hbox says you can apply it to anything in life. So.
The thing is, it's interesting because if you somehow manage to get this answer from other top players, they will all have a different, concept of neutral and how it works. Because neutral is such an abstract thing to define, or like at least how you're supposed to play it. Everyone's got their own version of it.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting hearing other top. Like I'm sure his doesn't sound exactly like mine.
It's similar, but there's differences for sure.
Yeah. And it's kind of why, at least back in this is just related. It's kind of why, as a Samus player, they didn't really lose early in pools because I think the makings of a great player are their neutral game, because it's hard to copy, right? You see someone do a punish game, you could copy that, right? But neutral, it's really hard to copy, and because Samus is a tank, she would live so many times, so the player is forced to constantly play neutral, and usually the better player has a better neutral.
Yeah.
And,
by virtue of how you succeed with Samus.
Yes, and so Hungrybox, very well versed in the neutral. I want to hear bubble theory now.
How did you bring this back to Samus?
It's just look, dude. I got a certain
I was
kind of
listening
brain.
to you the entire time. And I was like, "What is going on? How did you wrap this all the way back to Samus?"
Samus is how I relate to the world. I'm gonna call it Samus theory.
You're just gonna call it Samus theory?
Yeah, it's just how I relate to the world.
Call it Salmon theory.
Yeah, salmon.
Yeah, because that's the color you play, right?
Yes, Samus.
Salmon theory.
Yeah.
Dude, awesome.
Well said.
Don't ever sway away from bubble theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
I have a theory on that.
These backers shouldn't hit, you're saying?
No.
They shouldn't.
There's no, like...
Hbox should be able to react and
fade back. If he applies the bubble theory, he can easily see that bubble,
he was in a danger
right
bubble.
inside of it.
He was in the danger.
This wasn't a, wave dash back, moonwalk back. This was Plop standing on the edge of double jump back.
We actually need one of you
It
guys.
really was.
Is it a meme? What?
So I can tell you about
You
it.
can tell me later.
Bubble theory is a branded theory about how to see the game that Captain Crunch and Hungrybox thought up together.
Oh, bubble theory.
And what it is.
I think I get it. Just from the way you guys are talking about it, contextually I put it together.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hitbox spacing.
If you give them a lot of credit, it's realizing the heat maps, like, this is how fast you can get here.
Right,
and kind of imagining bubbles. If you're a bit more realistic like me, it's basic goddamn spacing. But we all see...
it's not branded as well, Leffen. Basic goddamn spacing theory does not sell like bubble theory.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Basic
Anyway,
goddamn spacing.
game...